You may have taken a hit in the stock market crashes of 2000, 2008, or maybe both, and thought, I never ever want to do this again. Even if I can't have the gains of the stock market, I never want to lose money like that ever again. Well, you're not alone. And that's what we're here to talk about today. How to never lose money in the stock market and still beat inflation. First, let's cover a common misconception about the stock market called buy and hold. This strategy used to work. It's how Warren Buffett built his fortune, along with so many others in the 20th century. But in the 21st century, things are a bit different. It used to be that tried and true companies would rise to prominence and then predictably dominate in their category for decades. But now, as we saw in the dot-com bubble, many companies are number one today and gone tomorrow. They're not stable and long-term like they used to be. So let's look at a real-world example of how the buy and hold strategy has failed miserably. This is a graph of the Japanese leading stock market index, the Nikkei 225, in the last part of the 20th century. Notice what happens in the graph between 1989 and 2009, a 20-year period. If an investor had $1,000 in this market in 1989, by 2009, it would have been worth $271.01. How's that for a buy and hold strategy? You lose 73% of your money, and that doesn't take into account inflation. You'll see over this period of time, there were gains and losses. There were actually 9 gains and 11 losses. In 2005, there was even a 40% gain. But the losses outweighed the gains in the big picture, and the end result was 73% loss at the end of 20 years. Now, what if we could do 2 simple things? Let's say we could make our losses 0. No matter what the market does, you don't lose money. Now let's say in the gain years, you could get those gains, but only up to a certain percent, let's say 14%. So even in the market we're up 40%, you only got 14. If you could have done just those 2 things in the Japanese market, that account would actually have gone to $2,281.34. That's a 120% gain during a 20-year period when the market itself actually declined by 73%. Here's another picture to show you how this works. Let's say the stock market, and we're talking the US stock market, is going up and down 10% every other year. You would think that the average gain would be 0, but in reality, your account probably technically is upside down. You actually would have less than you started with, and here's an example. Take 2 accounts. One is an indexed account where you can suffer no loss when the markets are down, and the other is invested directly in the market like the S&P. Both accounts start with $1,000. At the end of the very first year, the market's up 10%. So both accounts are at $1,100. The next year, the market loses 10%. The index account stays at $1,100, while the other account drops 10% to $990. The next year, both accounts go up 10% again. So the indexed account goes to $1,210, while the S&P account only climbs to $1,089. So here's what the numbers look like over the next 10 years. The bottom line is, at the end of the 10th year, the S&P market account is at $950, which is actually a net loss of 5%. The index account is up 61%, a total value of $1,610. That's the power of 0, never having to suffer a loss when the markets are down. By utilizing the power of 0, never taking a loss, you've turned a period that could have been really volatile time in your life into a 61% gain in your assets. How is this possible? How can you always benefit from the gains in the stock market but not have to suffer any of the losses? Fixed indexed annuities use sophisticated investing tools called options to realize this benefit for you. I'd love to unpack this more so you can see if fixed indexed annuities could actually work for you. I'd also like to give you a free book. So please click on the link below to order your free book, or if you'd like to speak to me directly, just give us a call today. I'm looking forward to speaking with you about how you can never have to worry about taking a stock market loss again.